Siyabingelela ubingelelo Babu Dokotela babo isizwe bawujabulile ku June 16 sibonga ukuthi sinentsha celebrate holiday lambile. And for my personal greeting and my last born umcina umcebo says happy Father's Day dad. At least I'm a father ngayondla yami ingane. We have to support our children, especially if they're girls. We must love them otherwise. Siyabonga.
Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I am Len and today I'm going to be talking about the Girl Dad. This is inspired largely by Dokotela, who is a media personality, internet sensation, and a lot of people love him. He gives a lot of advice to everyone, especially the youth, particularly the women, and tells them go to school, do this and that. And it is also a reflection of him being a father to girls or a girl. I need to sort of research on that. I don't know if it's one girl or he has multiple girls, but he also does touch on the fact that he is a girl dad. My own dad was a girl dad, and there are two of us. There are two girls and then one boy, and he always encouraged us to fly high. There was no competition of, oh yeah, boys are meant to do that. Never do that. He always pushed for us to do more and go for more. So he was always that person. And although I did not get to experience him in my early 20s, like I did not get to experience him as a young adult, he passed on when I was 18. Wow, okay, he passed on when I was 18, and I did not get to hear his advice on boys, like romance and so forth, but he was very encouraging when it came to like going for my dreams. He would always say you need to push for more. He'd always tell me he's proud. Whenever I'd go for auditions, he would always make sure that he lets me know that he is so proud of me and I need to strive for more. So in that regard, he was a girl that it was important for me to feel and see love at home first before I seek for it elsewhere. And yeah, it is important to experience these things or have a figure of some sort in your family or in your community to show you the ropes. I also want to tell a short story. So there was this guy I used to work for in this company. So this guy was actually very honest about the fact that he did not particularly like my personality. He liked my work etiquette, but he did not like my personality. For some reason, he'd always let me know. But we had like a certain level of respect towards each other. There were lines that we didn't cross. But I remember that after a few weeks, I found out that he was actually expecting, and then right afterwards, I knew that it was a girl. And I congratulated him, and then he was like, oh yeah, there's something that I wanted to ask from you. And I was like, what? And then he asked me to be his child's godmother, and I just laughed at it. I knew that like there was no ways it would happen because of how he felt about me and how he always expressed how he felt about me. So I really did not understand why he wanted it so badly. And yeah, I just said no. But it goes back to how people may not like you for like your personality or the fact that you are such a strong presence and have strong boundaries, but they see value in it as soon as they have girl children. To be clear, he did not like how strict I was towards men. He did not like my status updates, especially on Facebook when I used to post. I used to be very pro woman, pro feminism, and so forth. So he would always express that it made him feel uncomfortable. So yeah, I guess now that he has a child, he sees the value in it. I just want to say something about the girl dad. I feel like we say it in order to sort of run away or hide from the fact that there is something very profound about this term, and it is the fact that the girl dad is essentially someone who transitions into being a feminist or has always been a feminist, but basically being a girl dad means that you are a feminist. All of these values that are taught to young women who are now daughters of men by the men are things that are of feminism. Women will come online and say that, oh, I'm not a feminist, and every time I tell someone, they're dumbfounded or they act strange.
When people ask me if I'm a feminist, my answer always gives them whiplash. I'm sure you can tell what my answer is. It's that I'm not, and I don't care about feminism. Just do not involve me. And I know it freaks a lot of people out, but let me explain something to you, okay? I don't have to claim a cause simply because, number one, you want me to. Number two, I don't claim anything. Number three, it doesn't affect me. Like, I'm sorry, oh my god, that's crazy. It's not just about you, it's about all women. Okay, so you want me to fake something? Fake a sentiment? Fake a stance that I genuinely don't care about? And I'm realizing that a lot of it has to do with like past trauma, past experiences. And obviously if somebody doesn't have the same trauma, same experiences as you, they won't care as much as you. You know what
And it's like, girl, feminism gave you a voice. The fact that you can sit here and tell us that you're not a feminist is something that was fought for by feminists. The fact that you can go to school, the fact that you can go to work, you have your own bank account, you can go in and out of anywhere, you can dress however, you can do this hairstyle, you can choose not to, you can wear makeup, you can choose not to. Everything is decided by feminism. The fact that you have a choice to get married or not get married, to have kids or not, that is all feminism. And for you to not associate yourself with feminists because of whatever reasons, or because you want to appeal to the boys, it is not smart, because at the end of the day, all you are doing is spitting on everyone else who has fought so hard for you to have these opportunities and to have a platform to talk and speak up on issues and so forth. So I do understand that there are problematic things under the feminism umbrella. However, you need to think broader than that. Just right now, there is a case that is going on a man who killed his ex-girlfriend on X. And for you to say that you are not a feminist, that is sort of backing away from this issue that can also affect you or your family. So who do you go to when things happen to you? If you were in a situation where you were to be raped, is it the boys who will come for your aid? Is it the boys who will say that, oh, this is so sad? Whenever you go through a divorce, do you think that it is the boys who are going to help you? No, it is going to be the feminists. If your child goes through something and they need justice, what is going to happen? You are going to need the feminists to help you. So for you to say that you are not a feminist as if it is a shameful thing. Look, I'm not against people who question certain things about it. I do too. But I'm saying that for you to proudly and loudly proclaim that you are not a feminist, it becomes problematic. And that's why they ultimately call you a pick-me. It is a very dangerous thing to be a pick-me, because ultimately then a lot of things that are not our fault as women, as kids too, like even the boy kid, then society does not take seriously. Because don't worry, there is Portia over there who does not believe in feminism, and that means that their stance will always be, oh yeah, let us listen to the perpetrator's side of the story, which is very dangerous. Sometimes there's no side. People are just dangerous. And feminism covers everything. LGBTQ plus community. It covers boy children who are sexually harassed and so forth. That is where we come in. So for you to say that you are not, it is a spit on everyone else who's doing the work to make sure that society lives in peace. My issue is not that people are trying to sort of question what feminism is and so forth. That is great. It's a great thing, because sometimes it is actually distorted, or people do things under the guise of feminism. But my issue is when you attack these groups of people and making it sound like it is such a bad word. It is not a bad word. And thus this video is just about the F word. Why are we so scared to say the word feminism?
Just saying, if you're a feminist, like, if it's like a
What's a feminist?
A person that supports women's rights.
And you're laughing at me for supporting
No,
women's
because
rights?
the way it's...
That's crazy as fuck.
It's just a label. We need to rebrand the term for men. That's all.
Well,
I don't know what it looks like, but maybe it needs a rebrand.
why?
Why not?
Because it shouldn't be
Because
called.
it means to support women's rights.
Because it has the word feminine. So what?
It's because it's women
it
that you're supporting. Huh?
I know, but it just sounds
You sound crazy right
no,
now,
it
bro.
sounds crazy.
No, you
saying,
don't.
A
It's
man,
not.
you're a feminist. Like, no, I'm not. I support women. I don't know.
So does it sound crazy for a white person to be pro-black because they're not black?
All
Or
he's saying,
evolution-
all he's
I'm
saying,
asking, let him respond.
No.
Everything the girl dad teaches his girl child is under feminism. Go to school, have a good job, make sure that you get married to a good man, and they're going to show you all the qualities of what a good man looks like. It's all about taking care of yourself and having standards. If you do not have standards, then your life will go into hell just because you do not know how to stand up for yourself. Standing up for yourself is in itself feminism. Otherwise, you will be in the kitchen, get married at 18, be in the kitchen, have babies with someone who is not interested in your future, and ultimately making you not interested in your future. All you're doing is giving yourself to a man. There is no girl dad who actually loves their girl child. Just to clarify, who is going to be happy that their girl child is going into a marriage with a senseless man or a man who's abusive and so forth. So I think that the issue right now is that feminism does not give men a lot of options, but feminism in itself is a good thing, because feminism makes sure that their girl children are somewhat safe in this patriarchal and misogynistic system and society that we live in. So I have a theory. Give it about 10 years, 20 years or so, a lot of our peers are going to be feminists, because they will realize that no matter how pure they raise their girl children, like, do not be untombi who had 2 kids by 20 years old, do not be a HOE and so forth. They will teach their children, go to school, to get all the jobs and all these opportunities, but their children will actually have to fight for themselves. It is a system in itself, the patriarchal system. So even if the child is well educated, they still need to fight for a fair pay. Even if the child gets the marriage and is in something that you are proud of, if the man lays his hand on her, you want to teach her to fight for themselves or leave. You understand? So ultimately, this is what's going to happen. The issue with the F word right now is that it sort of makes access very difficult. Meaning that because now that women have rights, now that women can say, I want the marriage or not. Just imagine, as a boy, you were promised that you are going to have access to a lot of women and a range of women who want the marriage and the kids. You get to 25 to 30, 35, 40, and women have all these rights and all these demands that put you in a position where it's very difficult to settle with one. And they actually go for character. How amazing. When women were given rights to empower themselves, meaning that they had the education, the jobs, the salary, now they can feed themselves, now they can shelter themselves. It means that they do not need men in order to survive. They do not need to get married and have the kids first in order to survive. So now that women are in a position to give themselves what it is that they need to survive, it creates friction within the dating pool, because now men feel like they are not needed because women have everything covered in the resources and money parts of it. Now women are looking for character and are seeking for emotional responsibility and intelligence. women now need men to show up in those aspects, and men are struggling because they are not actually taking steps to better themselves in those aspects. So it creates so much arguments and fights and power struggles, because if you are always taught that women are below you and you are the leader, however everything around you shows that women are actually catching up and also excelling in these spaces that you were taught were yours, it will create feelings in you of not being enough and being devalued by society. So I understand the anger, but I'm telling you, in a few years, a lot of men will realize how important feminism is, because their children will grow and they will realize that no matter what it is that their child is, ultimately they are not going to be immune to what the society will give them. They are not going to be immune to how harmful misogyny is. So there is nothing that you can do but empower your girl child. Men are so reluctant to actually see how beneficial feminism is for themselves, for their children, and everyone else around them. We are not trying to fight men, we are trying to stand up for ourselves. That's what it essentially is. Let me know what you think about it. Please like, comment, subscribe to my channel, and I will catch you on the next video. Peace.